All right, level 2 NCV entrepreneurship class, right? Okay, while you are doing that, let me see what we can be able to achieve the same time, right? Simultaneously. All right, so let me see, where are we now? Where did we stop? Yeah, 4 piece. Have we done 4 piece? Where did we stop? We passed this. You sure? We done? Have we done this? I don't think so. What about? Yeah, questionnaire. Says lead. I know we passed this. We passed this already. Okay, let me see. Maybe you are behind. Did we do Maslow? You've done it. Okay, let's talk about Maslow. Maslow is very important. Maslow. You know what is Maslow? Right? Maslow was a great philosopher. Philosopher. You know, philosopher, they study people's minds. They look at people's behavior and try to see how they can understand why people behave the way they do. Okay, I haven't switched on the, oh, it's on. Why people behave the way they do. They look at your behavior. Why is she behaving like that? There must be reason behind it. Right? Philosophers. Right. They do more or less like psychologists. Right? So this man was a great man. Who? Who is the one I'm talking about? Maslow was a great man, right? So what he did was this. He studied people's needs. Needs. You see, when you look at life generally, we all have different needs. Understand? Right. Look at it, you are hungry now. Right? You need to eat. Right? You need something to quench your hunger. And you express it in chips. Right? Because you can afford it, you demanded for it and you got it and you are eating it to satisfy your hunger. Did you see what I mean? Then this man, he said, everybody have got different needs. Ostanze, what is your name? You. Yeah, Berika Malaku. Linda. Leah. Okay. Leah have got her own specific needs. Perhaps if Leah was hungry now, she might not go for chips, right? Okay, let's leave it that way. So, what he's saying is this, that when you look at the needs of people, right? The needs of people got different levels. It got different levels, right? Then he classified the needs into 5 levels. 5 levels. Count. I need to come with a pointer tomorrow. I told my previous class that I'm gonna buy a pointer now. I'm gonna be pointing like this, right? So that you know where I am. So you got 5 levels. Jungle, one, one, right? Two, three, four, five, right? So what he said is that when you look at this level, this is where we express our needs, basic needs. Our basic needs occupy this level. Without this satisfying these needs, there is no way you can be able to survive. Huh? No, some of yeah. No, okay, okay. You say okay. These are basics. I see what you mean. I see what you mean. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think we must remove this thing, right? Okay, okay, okay. Let's remove that. Yeah, but it's part of life. Yeah, it's part of life. Okay, okay. Yeah. No, at home is part of life. But can I tell you something? I'm not trying to be promiscuous now. You see, when you are a man or a woman, you get to that stage that you need a partner. Did you see what I mean? Because if that partner is not there, it can mess up with your brain and your life will not be complete. It's obvious, right? Okay, let us not argue about that, right? But, but what I'm saying is, these are the basic needs, biological and physiological needs, right? So what he said is, when you are able to satisfy these needs, then you will be thinking of meeting a high level need, right? Then you can be talking in terms of safety. You know you have done this thing. You said it, right? Okay. Management practice, right? Yes. Okay. So, which is quite obvious. I can give you a good example of myself. Those days I was not working, right? I could stay in any place. I remember where I stayed before was in Etlon. You know Etlon? Right? Here's Hyzenda. They call the place Hyzenda. It's very close to Bob McCary. I used to walk around to Bob McCary. I walk around. There was a day I went to Buntiville. You know Buntiville? Right. I you grew up there. You see? But when I used to walk around Bob McCary, a friend of mine told me, say, you must be very careful. They're gonna rob you. But I was not careful. I said, what do I have for them to rob me? I had nothing. Right? So I was not afraid of anything. So now when you start working, then you got something that people can rob from you. Then you want to keep that one safe. You will be looking for a better place for you to stay that you feel is a more secure for you. Perhaps you got money. Now you want to go and open it in the bank to keep it safe, right? But when you were at this level, you were struggling to satisfy here this level, the needs at this level. You wouldn't talk about the safety needs, right? So in the same vein, he said, once you are able to meet these needs, then you talk about the third one, which is belongingness and love needs, family, affection, relationship. The same thing to self-esteem needs, achievement status, then self-actualization. Okay, but there is one thing I want to explain to you here, which is very important. Look here. When you look at the structure, right? It's like a form of a pyramid, right? It's pyramidical. When you look at the bottom, is bigger than the top. So what it means is the people at this level are more than the one at this level. It's tapes, right? It's going narrower, narrower as you move up the level. To the extent that at the top here you have only few people, right? The people here, they've made it in life, they got personal growth and fulfillment. People that are here, they don't even need money again, right? That is where you have, for example, somebody like Elon Musk, somebody like this guy that Steve, what is the name of this guy that was the owner of Apple? Right? So the people that you've got here, most of them, they even give down their money to charity. So that is how this one works. But let me tell you how this thing is gonna come out in the exam. If they ask you to identify the various needs, right? Maslow needs of hierarchy. Listen, if you start from here, It must be one, two, three, four, five. Right? Then if you are starting from the top, you can say one, two, three, four, five. It must be in order. Right? Don't write this, then you write this, you write this. Don't miss it. So that is how it works. Sometimes they will ask you in the exam to identify the basic needs. Right? Yeah, the time is almost gone now. Right, because that is what I said, because there are a lot of stuff you need to check there and it's time consuming. So if they said you must identify the basic needs, as you say you don't want this, right? Don't talk about that. You can talk about food, drink, shelter, and the basic ones, right? Okay. So that is how Maslow works. Where is the paper? Oh, it's moving, right? We're gonna get it. We're gonna get it. So I remember we talked about question. Did we have we talked about this? Check it. Check your book. You know what I could have done? I made a mistake. We could have divided that paper, split it. We could have splitted it. Yours is correct. No mistake. Okay. Yeah. Where did we stop? The sources of business idea. Okay. Master. Okay. Here. Sources of business idea. Did we discuss everything? Okay. Sources. Where does business idea comes from? Where does it come from? Right? Sometimes, guys, listen. When somebody is well exposed, right, that person is more likely to generate a business idea than somebody that doesn't have much exposure. Is it true of us? You know what I'm talking about. For example, you've been to city, right? You've known what we got in the city, right? You are more exposed than somebody that is living in the rural area. If you are to generate a lot of business idea, you that have been to the city, you can generate 10. Perhaps the one from rural area will be struggling to generate 5. Right? Because when you've gone out, you see things. From there, you can be able to think, this type of stuff they've got here is not in my area. Why can't I introduce it? You know, it's a source of business idea because of what you've seen outside that is there, which is not there in your place. For example, you've been here to Cape Town. When you go to your area now, you will say, hey, I've seen some stuff in Cape Town that is a good source of business. This thing is not in my place in Eastern Cape. Then you can introduce it. Make money. It's a sort of business, a source of a business idea. Then we talk about skills and ability of the entrepreneurs. Sorry to say, if your skills can act as a source of business idea. For example, I'll be teaching for a while now, right? If tomorrow, let's say I go on retirement and I'm looking for any source of business or any business I can do to help myself, because I've got the skill to teach, then obviously I will think of establishing some perhaps an online school. Where does that idea come from? It's from my skill and knowledge. Does it make sense to you? Right. Then needs are want. This one is very important as well. Listen, very important. Needs and want is a sort of business idea. For example, remember what I told you before when there was no restaurant here, right? Nowhere to buy food, and people need food. For example, the person that sold you the chips, he discovered that people like you need chips sometimes, then that person take advantage of that or leverage that opportunity to start selling chips, right? Of course, that person now is selling because you are buying. If that person didn't see there is a need for chips, that person will not introduce the business, right? So when you scan the environment, you need to look for where there are needs, and such needs and wants can inform you. It can inform you for you to know what type of business to start, right? Remember, if there are no needs and wants, there is no business. You can introduce the business if people doesn't want it. You're not gonna sell. So it's better you start from that point. It should be the point of departure. Look for what people want and be able to pay, right? Then introduce that business to satisfy their need. So it can act as a source of business idea. Then internal sources, experience from work to identify needs and wants. From your experience, where you are working, perhaps you are working in a place, you discover that customers are coming to ask of a specific product, and that product is not there, right? You can take advantage of that or take leverage of that. You go and buy that product and start a business. If you know that there is a big market for that product, you see, you can add as a source of business idea. Then external sources in the environment. You scan the environment, right? And look for where there could be opportunities. Remember, when we say external forces, we are talking about the macro environment. Remember what we said when we were doing SWOT analysis. Whatever happens in this external environment, you cannot control it. It's beyond your control. Right. So, what are the factors that one could talk about in terms of the external environment? We can talk about the inflation, we can talk about crime, and right. For example, if there is a crime or if there is a high level of crime in your community, right, you can take advantage of that to set up a security company. Did you see what I mean? So that could serve as a source of business idea. Then foreign product, like I said, you can go overseas. Then when you see products that are being used there, that you feel could be of good market in your area, you can introduce it into your local market. Right. Then brainstorming to generate idea. You can brainstorm, right? You can look for ways on how to provide uh, needs, to satisfy needs in your community. How do you brainstorm? You think, right? You can think of something to do. For example, if there is a need in your community or there is an opportunity, you can think about it, say, what can I do now to be able to address this need? Then, before you know, perhaps, then there will be an idea, business idea that you can be able to start your own business and start generating money. As you are generating money in the same time, you are addressing the problem in the community, right? Then, yeah, that is what we say. The entrepreneur, once you generate the business idea, what do you do with it? Because not all business ideas are viable, right? You might have certain ideas that are not viable. Viability means profitable. So what do you do? Once you've generated your business idea, the next thing you need to do is to screen the idea. To screen it in terms of seeing if that idea is viable, if it is profitable, or if it is something that can be marketable. Perhaps you got a good business idea, but you don't have money. You need investor, right?